You are listening to stories at Chubby Orange Audio. Wish you an enjoyable listening experience. I am a ghost who works in the human world. I discovered a very nice household with no door gods and no ancestral spirits. Every day I would sneak into his house to steal food and drinks, even using his bathroom and sleeping in his bed. After all, he couldn't see me anyway. Until one day, I brought a friend over to his house to eat together. But unexpectedly my ghost friend could see him and was so scared she screamed and ran away immediately. My name is Serena Wells, a female ghost who just turned 18 springs old. I died on the 7th day of a month, but I have no memories left, so everyone calls me Serena Wells after the day I died. Like those ghosts who died without knowing why, not knowing who they really are. We're called wrongfully dead spirits. Without status, no one worships us, and we can't reincarnate. Even the underworld refuses to accept ghosts like us. As long as we don't violate the laws of the underworld, they'll just leave us to fend for ourselves. Ghost spirits like us don't receive any resources from the underworld, so we have to risk coming to the human world to work and survive day by day. Ghosts are extremely yin entities, while the sun in the human world is extremely yang. For monsters like us, it's the most harmful thing. Although we hide in dark places during the day, it can still damage our souls. There's no other way. Ghosts also have emotions and 5 senses. Even though we don't know what hunger or thirst feels like, we still suffer greatly. Especially a ghost who loves food like me. In my 2nd year as a ghost, all the money I earned from work went to buying food. The other ghost sisters all save money for beauty treatments, dreaming of seducing a ghost with status and bringing him back to the underworld to get a marriage certificate so they can live in the underworld. As for me, my daily life is just, oh, this dish is delicious. That one is also delicious. Wow, how can it be so tasty? My ghost friend Summer Hayes, who works with me, always nags that my mind only thinks about eating and eating, not even knowing how to flirt with men, wasting this beautiful face like a flower. This little one even suspects that when I was human, maybe I ate so much that I choked to death. But I don't feel that's the case. On the 7th day, some fragmented memories vaguely appeared in my mind. Before I died, I bled a lot and was in great pain. My death must have been much more tragic than choking on food. Serena, tonight I'm still going out to look for my boyfriend. Have you found a place to store your corpse yet? After getting off work, Summer immediately asked me. I smiled and replied, yes, you don't need to worry about that. When have I ever lacked a place to sleep? A few days ago, Summer and I had been staying together in an abandoned apartment. But the landlord demolished it for reconstruction, so both of us had to find another place to stay. Last night, I slept in the outdoor toilet of a household. In the human world, most households have door gods and ancestral spirits, so outside ghosts usually can't enter. But some people build outdoor toilets for communal use, which aren't under the door god's jurisdiction. Toilets are places with the heaviest yin energy, very convenient for nurturing ghosts. The only problem is they stink terribly. Tonight I definitely need to change sleeping places. So I wandered everywhere, and though dawn was breaking, I still couldn't find any household to sleep in. Just as I was about to go sleep under a bridge, I turned around and saw a household with lights still on. This was a large villa with a flower garden. I went over and discovered this household had no door gods. So I sneaked inside. Not only were there no door gods, there weren't even any ancestral spirits. What kind of luck did I stumble upon to find such a good household? In the middle of this spacious villa, there was a faint echoing sound from upstairs, like water flowing down a drain. Curious, I boldly went straight upstairs to take a look. After all, this is the human world, ordinary people can't see me anyway. I went to the 2nd floor, where there were 3 rooms. I passed through the walls to observe each one. Finally, I stopped at the largest room. Most homeowners always choose the largest room to live in. So this was the master bedroom, decorated in light gray tones, with a simple and elegant style, but on the wall hung a painting of a riverbank, with some brightly colored flowers I couldn't identify. Next to the painting was a vintage-looking wall clock. The room also had a walk-in closet, a large sofa along with a strangely shaped table, and in front was a huge bed that could easily fit 5 people. In the corner was a nightstand with a book and a phone on top. At this moment, the sound of flowing water became clearer. I turned around and saw a strange room built with several glass panels. Actually, it wasn't that strange. Although I have no memories, I've seen some stores use this type of glass for their fronts. For example, bakeries, every time I pass by, I can see rows of pastries inside without even entering. So there must be food inside this too. But why is there a continuous sound of water flowing? I was very curious, so I passed directly through the wall to go inside. What struck my eyes was the image of a man with a straight posture and perfectly white skin. Ah! I quickly covered my eyes with my hands, screamed, and passed straight through the wall to fly outside. Oh my God! So the male owner of this house was taking a shower. I can't look. I'm not a perverted ghost. A non-perverted ghost like me then turned around and passed through that wall again into the bathroom. I absolutely had no intention of peeping at him bathing. I swear. Suddenly I thought that I could also use the bathroom here, so I was just secretly observing how he turned on the faucet. Without memories from my lifetime, there are many things I only know from learning by imitation. But when I entered the bathroom, he had already finished bathing. He was wearing a loose white shirt and walked outside. So I followed him out. If he stays in the room, then I won't be able to shower. The faucet that had been turned off suddenly turned on again. Tell me, isn't that scary? Ghosts frightening innocent humans for no reason violates underworld law. Light punishment is detention and fines. Heavy punishment is imprisonment and even execution. He went to the dressing room, pulled out a drawer, and took out something to plug into the wall. A whirring sound began. What he was holding was a hair dryer. So this is the hair dryer that Summer once said her boyfriend's house has. An ignorant person like me stood curiously to one side, seriously watching him use it. In just a moment, his hair was completely dry. It looked so small but was incredibly convenient. After drying his hair, he put it back in the drawer and turned to go outside. He sat on the sofa and picked up his phone to look at it. I followed along too. But I didn't sit on the sofa, I sat on the table right in front of him. His freshly dried hair was a bit messy and fluffy, but it didn't affect his good looks at all. How can someone be so handsome? His skin is the kind of white that's also delicate, his nose is high, his eyebrows are sharp, his eye sockets are somewhat deep, his lips are neither thick nor thin, in short, his features are flawless. I sighed softly. Summer says my mind only thinks about eating and eating. Not knowing how to flirt with male ghosts, but I feel that I didn't flirt with anyone before because the male ghosts I encountered were too ugly. If they were even half as handsome as this person, I would also make an effort to improve myself and pursue them until they fell for me. The hand scrolling through the phone suddenly stopped. I also noticed his gesture. Oh no, don't tell me he can see me. I was startled and quickly stood up. Hey handsome guy, can you see me? I waved my hand in front of his face, but his expression returned to normal. He lowered his head and continued scrolling through his phone. But I had already begun to be somewhat alert. It's one thing for ordinary households to not adore gods, but to not even have ancestral spirits. What's that about? Unless it's not an ordinary household or the person doesn't believe in ghosts and spirits at all. Which type is it exactly? I can't tell at all, so I decided to test it out. I pressed my face close to his and made a scary face with my hands. Hey, I'm an evil ghost. If you're still not honest, while you're sleeping, I'll eat your flesh. My face was very fierce at this moment, continuing to threaten him. I'm very vicious. Suddenly he put down his phone. I was scared for a moment, preparing to go all out with him, but he stood up, touched his stomach and said, "A bit hungry." This was the first sentence he spoke. His voice was soft and attractive, very pleasant to hear. After speaking, he turned and walked outside. I followed behind him. After going downstairs, he went straight to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator to get ingredients for cooking. It seems he really can't see me. While he was cooking, I quickly rushed up to the bedroom and into the bathroom. I lifted the faucet handle, and water gushed down onto the floor, but it was the straight, flowing type from the bottom faucet, flowing very strongly. So I fumbled to turn off the faucet. That's not right. Earlier when I came in here, I saw water falling on his head like rain. After some research, I discovered there was an additional knob. I turned it once and tried opening the faucet again. This time, a stream of water sprayed down from above my head. I'm so smart. This time I got it right. But I also got soaked like a drowned rat. Just right, I'd been wearing these clothes for 3 or 4 days. Might as well wash them all at once. I was enjoying the feeling of showering in the bathroom. After washing myself clean, I also washed my clothes, washing everything I was wearing. But he still hadn't returned to the room yet. I hung up the newly washed clothes on the balcony, took my underwear in hand, ran into the dressing room, pulled out the hairdryer to dry my underwear. After putting it on, I continued to dry my hair. I have soft black shoulder-length hair that's neither thick nor thin. My face was born with a doll-like appearance and fair skin. When I was alive, I had cut bangs that suited my face very well. Summer once said, "You're destined never to become an evil ghost in this lifetime, because your appearance is too cute." But I never intended to become an evil ghost anyway. Except for those times when I secretly sneak into people's toilets to sleep, I've never done anything cruel. Even in such a nice household, I only secretly use his bathroom and hair dryer. I have no intention of harming anyone. Suddenly, there was the sound of a door opening from outside. I quickly turned off the hair dryer and put it back in the drawer. But when I passed through the dressing room, he had already entered the room. Having just done something wrong, I felt guilty, very scared. But he didn't stop walking at all. His gaze determined as he walked toward my direction. Oh right, he can't see me anyway. Phew. I secretly rejoiced and laughed. He walked straight into the bathroom. Since he didn't lock the door, I followed him in. He brushed his teeth, so I brushed my teeth too. I took mine out from my luggage that I'd hidden in the forest. It's just that the toothpaste I'm using is a very cheap kind from the underworld sold in the human world. His toothpaste was a light, somewhat transparent blue-green color. I sniffed it, it smells great. Tomorrow when I get paid, I'll move all my luggage here. I also want to try his toothpaste. After personal hygiene, he went back to the bedroom, sat on the bed and picked up his phone. I wandered back and forth in front of him several times, but his gaze didn't waver even a bit. Ha ha ha, he really can't see me. Oh la la, can't see me, can't see me. I was so happy I jumped around chaotically in front of him. When I got tired of jumping, a girl wearing underwear like me, lay down on the bed, in a casual pose in front of him and said, lying on this big soft bed while admiring a handsome guy, "What great eye candy." So this handsome guy is a night owl. He's been holding his phone for a long time, but still shows no signs of wanting to sleep. But why don't I feel sleepy either? Ghosts like us in the underworld can only go out at night. During the day, I usually spend my time sleeping. What exactly is he looking at? I crawled up, moved closer to him to look at his phone screen, then continued speaking. Why isn't he watching any movies? I lay beside him chattering nonstop. He got off the bed and went to the bathroom. After returning, he opened the nightstand drawer, took out a tablet, turned on a movie, used a rectangular pillow at the head of the bed as a backrest, took out a tablet stand, folded one leg up, and leisurely watched the movie. In an instant, I jumped up with joy, sitting next to him to watch together, but this tablet is much smaller than a TV. Sitting next to him to watch requires tilting my head, which gets tiring. I looked at his one folded leg and saw there was empty space in his lap. That was the ideal spot to sit and watch movies. I looked up at the handsome face of the man before me, feeling a bit shy, but I only hesitated for a moment before sliding straight into his lap. He was leaning back against the bed, and I was leaning against his chest. His physique is very strong. Sitting in his lap made me feel pitifully small. I boldly rested my neck against his firm and attractive chest, and so I watched movies together with him. This was a comedy, quite entertaining to watch. But why didn't he react at all? Only the laughter of this little ghost echoed in the room. Ha ha. I laughed so hard my eyes squinted, snuggling into the handsome guy's chest, laughing like a fool. It's okay, after all, he can't see me anyway. Finally, we finished the movie and he leaned back on the bed, preparing to sleep. I was a bit curious. What exactly was his job? It was dawn before he went to sleep, so what time did he go to work? Is he on vacation? Forget it, this isn't something an outsider ghost like me should worry about. The sun began to rise. Although there was no rooster crowing, the wall clock chimed once when the shorthand reached 6 o'clock. His bedroom curtains were triple-layer blackout curtains, excellent at blocking light. Sunlight is very harmful to ghosts. It seems this house is perfect for me. I happily curled up in the blanket. His arm unconsciously stretched out beside the pillow. I naturally pillowed my head on that strong arm. But normally I wear comfortable pajamas. These underwear are too restrictive. I took them off and crawled back under the blanket. He was lying on his side, and so was I. I looked up at his handsome face, feeling a bit embarrassed. But when I thought that he basically couldn't see me, I became more mischievous again. I leaned into his chest, bringing my nose close to sniff lightly. The scent on his body was a subtle fragrance. Even stranger was that the closer I got to him, the more comfortable my whole body felt. When lying next to him, I felt like I was lying in someone else's toilet. That's a place very suitable for nurturing ghosts. I had a really good sleep. It was already past 400 p.m. When he woke up, I woke up too. He changed his clothes and I put on mine. After washing our faces, he suddenly threw his toothbrush into the trash bin beside him, opened the drawer below, took out a bunch of toothbrushes from inside, chose a black one to use. After cleaning up, he went outside. I saw the pile of toothbrushes and secretly took a pink one to use. Things that ghosts like me use basically won't affect humans if they use them later. Otherwise, why would things like steamed buns, meat offerings, or Qingming festival tributes still be edible for humans after ghosts have consumed them? Of course, ghosts eat the ghost portion, humans eat the human portion. The toothpaste he used smells really good. It's cool in my mouth. I took the face wash bottle he had used, squeezed out a little, and learned his movements. Wet my face, rub it evenly to make foam, massage a few times, then rinse with water. It's so refreshing and comfortable, so satisfying. The handsome man was downstairs cooking. The wall-mounted TV in the living room was on, with the title, The Return of the Condor Heroes, in the bottom left corner. There's something strange about this. I'm clearly someone with no memories from life, yet I can still read. So I sat on the sofa watching the show. After finishing episode 1, he came over and opened the living room window wide. I panicked and ran into the kitchen, finding a dark corner to hide in. Then he went into the kitchen, carrying the dishes he'd just cooked to place on the dining table. A ghost without memories who's also a poor wandering spirit like me. How would I know what these dishes are called? In general, there was meat, fish, vegetables, and soup. People often call it 3 dishes and a soup. He opened the rice cooker, and I looked inside too. He cooked quite a lot. Surely he can't eat it all by himself. The round table in the kitchen was a 2-tier table, with a glass layer on top and another round panel below. It seemed like it could rotate. He placed the dishes in front of him and began eating. I inhaled the fragrant aroma from the dining table. My stomach was growling with hunger. Out of curiosity, I gently pressed my finger on the glass panel on top of the table. Sure enough, it could separate. Since it only moved a tiny bit, it didn't disturb him. After eating, he took a transparent dome cover and placed it over the leftover food. I looked at the fragrant food inside. I wanted to eat it so badly, but I didn't dare. I was afraid of frightening him. Then he went upstairs, and after a while came back down. He had changed into a thick suit, his hair neatly styled, looking very handsome. This was the appearance of a refined gentleman, like jade trees facing the wind, handsome and elegant. He must be going to work now. I followed him to the hallway, watching him put on his shoes and take the car keys from the shoe rack. He opened the front door and went outside. I quickly waved at him and said, "Bye-bye, I'll wait for you to come home." Even though he can't see me, I still need to express my feelings, right? I'm truly an enthusiastic ghost. A glutton like me still couldn't resist secretly stealing some of his food. I must say, his cooking skills are really amazing. Far beyond my expectations. After eating, I turned on the TV to watch and kill time, but I didn't dare change the channel. What if I changed channels and couldn't remember how to change back? If he came back and discovered something unusual, what would I do? Fortunately, The Return of the Condor Heroes was still playing from episode to episode. I was fed up with the love between Xiao Long Engu and Yang Go. Unconsciously, it was getting dark. The TV started broadcasting ads for traditional medicine. I don't like watching these things at all, so I turned off the TV, stood up and stretched. This place has no ancestral spirits or door gods, yet has good food, a big bed, a handsome guy, and a big TV too. Why do I love this house so much? At 8:00 p.m. when I was preparing to go to work, he still hadn't returned. No wonder he only went to sleep at dawn. Turns out he only goes to work in the afternoon. This work and rest schedule is completely messed up. He's risking his life selling himself to capitalism. Being human is hard. Being a ghost is even harder. Although I say I work in the human world, I actually work for the underworld, and I'm a lowly employee at the Heavenly Bank, serving thousands of ghosts in the human world. All kinds of paper money and gold that people burn down below must be temporarily deposited in the heavenly bank in the human world, then sorted and arranged for delivery to each name. This way they can go directly to the heavenly bank in the underworld to receive their things. There are also things like clothes, villas, houses, cars, etc., all managed by the express delivery side. That's the Underworld Express Company, responsible for transporting items from the human world down to the underworld, so that thousands of ghosts can receive goods sent by their families. Everything has complete information like names, identities, and addresses. Compared to the human world, it's not much different, not easy to mix up. But most ghosts working in the human world are wandering spirits like me, no status, low treatment, and little salary. Fortunately, my job with Summer isn't too busy, and it's not particularly hard work. Like right now, we're hiding in a corner chatting endlessly. Really, no door gods and no ancestral spirits. You can even eat at people's homes. Summer was still very doubtful about this nice household. Are you sure the other party is human? Of course. I continued, he can cook, eat, and go to work. His house is still there during the day without any problems. Summer pondered and nodded. Then that's great. You won't have to worry about finding shelter anymore. That's right, and the food he makes is really delicious too. I said happily, how about this? Tonight after work, I'll take you to his house to eat together. Tonight might not work. Summer replied, a couple days ago I told you I went to the underworld with my boyfriend, remember? You said your boyfriend's status had been investigated. I remembered this and nodded. So you finish your business first. Summer looked both shy and happy. This time I'm going with my boyfriend to meet his grandparents. If they have no objections, my boyfriend and I will directly get our marriage certificate in the underworld. Oh, that's wonderful. If you get married, you can transfer to work in the underworld by the end of the year. I felt both happy and sad hearing this. Happy because Summer could return to live in the underworld, sad because I was about to lose a good friend. Summer smiled brightly. When I come back, I'll go see that house you're staying in with you. Great. I still had many questions in my mind. Oh, I've heard that when getting marriage certificates in the underworld, they're all issued in the place where you died, under the jurisdiction of one of the 19 Yama King palaces, and finally the Yama King personally stamps it. Is that true? Summer nodded. I think so. When I come back, I'll tell you about it. I nodded excitedly. I've never met a Yama King before. I wonder what he looks like? Also, I heard there's a river called Wangchuan in the underworld, with beautiful spider lilies blooming along its banks. I wonder what they look like. Summer laughed. I'll take a good look and tell you when I get back. Hey, what are you two doing hiding here? Director Sarah Thompson saw us and shouted loudly, why aren't you working? After getting off work, I said goodbye to Summer and went straight to the small forest to get my luggage. As soon as I got home, I smelled the rich aroma of beef stew, making my stomach rumble loudly. Seeing delicious food in front of me, how could I stand still? I dropped my luggage in the living room and flew straight into the kitchen. Oh, beef noodle soup. The beef noodle soup he made had thick broth, tender beef, and tomatoes added too. Beef noodle soup with tomatoes, sweet and sour flavor, I love it so much. I couldn't help but swallow my saliva and looked up at him. He cooked such a big pot, surely he can't finish it all by himself. Right? Of course, he didn't answer me. After cooking, he took a large bowl and filled it completely. About half remained in the pot. I sat next to him watching him eat spoonful by spoonful of noodles, putting piece after piece of beef in his mouth, and I was drooling beside him. My body began to lean down, moving closer to his face. Just a little bit more and I would almost kiss him. I saw him so close in front of me, that handsome face along with the fragrant beef noodle soup made me swallow hard. I want to eat too. I don't know why, but I felt his chopsticks pause for a moment. Then his eyes froze slightly, and I saw him continue eating the noodles with an unchanged expression. Then it must have been my eyes playing tricks on me, because of the delicious food. If only he could go outside for a bit, then I could eat some of the meat in the pot. Perhaps because my heart was praying so earnestly, it moved heaven and earth. His phone suddenly rang, showing only one black character on the screen. He glanced at it, put down his chopsticks, picked up the phone and stood up, talking while walking upstairs. Seeing this, I rushed straight into the kitchen, washed a pair of chopsticks and a bowl, and scooped all the remaining half pot into it. Slurp, I quickly slurped the noodles, opened my mouth wide to stuff pieces of beef in and chewed. Oh heaven and earth, it's so delicious. So good, so good. Really delicious beyond criticism. If you hear strange rustling sounds from someone's kitchen in the middle of the night, it might not be a mouse causing trouble, it's ghosts looking for food. Of course, outside ghosts coming in is very rare, because kitchens have kitchen gods guarding them, and restaurants and eateries all worship wealth gods. This is why wandering spirits like us, even though we work in the human world, still have to spend money to buy food in the underworld. We can't eat food from people's homes, of course not including this dear house. I happily slurped the hot bowl of noodles. I sighed contentedly, washed the bowl and chopsticks clean, and put them back in their place. Footsteps came from the stairway. He had returned to his seat. I sat across from him at a distance, one hand supporting my chin. After enjoying his delicious noodles, I began to admiringly gaze at that handsome face. Tisketsk, I really like this house more and more. I could live here for my entire lifetime until I reincarnate. Thank you, handsome guy, for letting me stay temporarily. I looked at him and winked. The beautiful ghost sisters always make this gesture when flirting with guys. It's just that this eye twitched a bit. I raised my hand to rub my twitching eye, but halfway through, I seemed to see him looking at me. I was startled and quickly dropped my hand. When I looked carefully again, I found he was indeed looking at me, but his gaze was emotionless, just staring straight ahead. What are you looking at? I turned to follow his gaze and saw a black cat lying on the windowsill in the living room. It was staring straight at me and meowed loudly. I knew it could see me, so I made a scary face at it. I'm not a gentle creature. Meow. It turned and jumped out the window. One cat versus one ghost, of course I won. I laughed triumphantly. Ha ha ha, scaredy cat. Scared now, aren't you? He cleared the dishes from the table, stood up, and went upstairs. Honestly, he's quite strange too. Living in such a luxurious villa, yet not even having a housekeeper, everything done by his own hands. I dragged my luggage along, following him upstairs. The upper floor had 3 rooms. I had originally planned to move to the adjacent room, but remembering how lying next to him felt like lying in someone's cozy toilet, I decided to continue staying in the same room with him. I'm definitely not because I'm infatuated with his good looks. Yes, that's definitely it. He opened the nightstand drawer, took out a book with a blank cover, and went outside. I followed to the door and saw him go to the second floor balcony, holding a pen and writing something in it. From this posture, he probably won't be back in the room for an hour and a half, so I threw all my luggage into the walk-in closet. I stuffed all my belongings into every available space. My luggage stored in the small forest had all gotten damp, and all my clothes needed to be washed again before wearing. Then I threw away the cheap toothbrush and toothpaste I'd been using before. From now on, whatever the handsome guy uses, I'll use the same thing. Whatever he eats, I'll eat the same thing. Okay, so tonight I used the bathroom before him. I brought all my clothes in to wash them all at once, while he hadn't returned yet. I also dried my underwear and nightgown for convenience. But I had just finished bathing and was coming out holding my underwear when he had already returned. With no fabric covering my body, I froze for a moment. Although I knew he couldn't see me, being completely naked still made me feel somewhat perverted. Wait, he can't see me anyway, what's there to be afraid of? I turned around and boldly walked in front of him, saying, once you've seen it once, the second time becomes familiar, right, handsome guy? He was here, so I had no way to use the hair dryer. I also didn't dare move his washing machine, so I could only take a few shirts and pants and hang them on the balcony to dry one by one. Meanwhile, he was shaving and washing his face, then brushing his teeth, cutting his nails, and trimming his eyebrows to look even more handsome. Are all handsome men so meticulous about grooming? I came closer, tilting my head to watch him, then pressed my face close to his to look in the mirror. In comparison, my eyebrows looked like wild grass. Yikes, oh my god. I don't even know how to trim eyebrows. I'm truly a rough female ghost. Before sleeping, he still took out his tablet like yesterday and found a movie to watch, while I still habitually crawled into his lap to sit and watch together with him. Tonight's movie he chose was called The African Monk. Director Lou led him to avoid the snake pit, but got bitten and had to be pulled out, finally dragging out a whole python. Haha, such a funny scene, yet only one ghost's laughter echoed in the room. I looked at him unexpectedly. Someone who doesn't like to laugh actually enjoys watching comedies so much. You really can't judge a book by its cover. The ocean can't be measured with a cup. And just like yesterday, after finishing the movie, he turned off the device and went to sleep. But tonight I didn't lie close to him, because I'm currently completely naked without a stitch of clothing. I hugged one corner of the blanket and obediently lay at the edge of the bed to sleep. However, when I woke up, I discovered I wasn't just lying close to him. My arms and legs were wrapped around his body like an octopus. Oh, handsome guy. It's just a pity we're from different worlds, human and ghost. Otherwise, I would definitely take responsibility for you. Heh. 2 days later, Summer returned with her face full of happiness, showing me 2 red booklets. Serena, look at this, I got my marriage certificate. Flipping to the other side, there was a black seal stamped by the Yama King. She pointed and said, using this seal stamped on the marriage certificate, I can apply to return to the underworld to live and work. Congratulations. Summer, you don't need to worry about your future anymore. I was happy for her. Serena? Summer held my hand and sighed. I can't bear to leave you. Leave? What do you mean can't bear or not? Who knows, maybe soon I'll also find my identity. Or I might catch some handsome guy in the underworld and get a marriage certificate too, right? Summer felt better hearing this and replied, that's right. Now tell me quickly, did you meet the Yama King? What does he look like? Oh my god, handsome, super handsome. Summer used extremely exaggerated expressions and tone to describe the Yama King's appearance. Do you know? That was the first time I've ever seen such a handsome person. Really that handsome? More handsome than the male owner you're staying with. That's a bit hard to imagine. It's just a pity that the Yama King is high above, cold and heartless. Just seeing him made my legs go weak. Little ghosts like me really can't reach that high. I'm just curious, not trying to climb up. Then I asked about the spider lilies at Wangchuan River. There really are some. They're bright red flowers that grow as single blooms, shaped like upside-down umbrellas, with petals curved back like dragon claws. After speaking, Summer pulled my hand and said, Serena, this time when I went to the underworld, I also heard a rumor. What rumor? I heard that wrongfully dead ghosts who lost all their memories, the items they carried when they died might retain some memories. Summer asked me, Serena, did you have anything with you when you died? I thought for a moment and replied, I was wearing a white dress, had a hair tie, and a butterfly-shaped hair clip, but they were all stained with blood. So I put them away. They're still there. Summer, why don't you go back and take a look? I went home and rummaged through my luggage, taking out the items I had carried when I died. Unfortunately, there were no memories from life left in them, as Summer had said. Tonight he had bought many things, looking very abundant. It seems he's preparing to cook a good meal. I went upstairs to bathe and change into clean clothes with peace of mind. Turning around, I saw the hair clip and hair tie stained with blood sitting on the shelf. I hesitated for a moment, then took them to the bathroom to wash. But no matter how much I washed, I couldn't clean the blood stains I had left when I died. The rice-colored hair tie was full of blood, like a bright red flower in full bloom. The red hair clip became even darker after being stained with blood. Suddenly I felt it looked quite beautiful like this. I looked in the mirror and tidied myself up, then used the hair tie to put my hair up neatly and clipped the butterfly-shaped clip-on. After leaving the bedroom, what struck my eyes was the painting hanging on the wall. I had seen it there on my first day here. A simple and elegant room with an unnamed painting on the wall. It was a painting with brightly colored flowers by a river. A bright red flower growing as single blooms, shaped like upside-down umbrellas, with petals curved back like dragon claws. I felt this painting perfectly matched the spider lilies that Summer had just described to me. Are there spider lilies in the human world too? The next day, I told Summer about this. How could there be? The Wangchuan River is in the underworld. Even if there are spider lilies in the human world, they would definitely be very different from those in the underworld. Summer shook her head in denial. She said the spider lilies of Wangchuan River are also called Manjusawa, representing the souls of the dead. Yin and Yang are separate worlds. Serena, I feel there's something wrong with that house you're staying in. Summer hesitated and continued, tonight after work, I'll go there with you to take a look. I replied, he can't see me, so there shouldn't be any problem. Summer, if there's no problem, consider it just a free meal. Okay, I nodded. After getting off work, I immediately took Summer straight to his house. Summer said, "Whoa, such a beautiful villa." She pulled me to peek at the neighboring houses. The door gods all held large swords, with fierce faces glaring straight at us. This really is a residential area for humans. Summer scratched her head looking puzzled. Then we must be overthinking. Let's go. This way. I pulled Summer into the house. Summer exclaimed, "It's true, no ancestral spirits and no door gods. It smells so good. He cooks like this every night, making lots of food," I said while pulling Summer inside. "Come quickly. We can eat lots of delicious food later." I pointed at the man in front and said, "He's super handsome. You'll see when he turns around." Summer hummed softly in reply, "Definitely not as handsome as our Yama King." Just at this moment, he was carrying a plate of vegetables and turned around. Summer was so scared she immediately broke free from my hand and ran away. Serena, run quickly? Hurry up. What's wrong? Summer, where are you running to? I quickly chased after her. Yama King. That man is the Yama King. Oh my god, you silly girl! Summer screamed while running. The Yama King, the person I always thought couldn't see me, is actually the Yama King. Wah. Summer, wait for me. A stream of white light shot straight at the villa's front door, and I crashed straight into it. Like a prepared sack waiting for me to dive in and be tied up tightly. I panicked a bit and started struggling. But that light was very strong. It held me tight and pulled me gradually backward. It didn't stop until I was pulled back to the kitchen and seated next to him. Then the light disappeared. He was sitting at the dining table. His white shirt unbuttoned 3 buttons, revealing his attractive collarbones. "What are you afraid of?" His movements were elegant as he peeled shrimp, glanced at me, and curved his lips upward. "Didn't you enjoy yourself quite contentedly when you were naked before?" This was the first time I'd seen him smile, really handsome, but his words were a bit crude. "I was naked." "Wasn't that because you deceived me?" But I didn't dare argue, didn't dare speak. Wah. I was both scared and embarrassed, trembling as I said, Great, sir, please forgive my offense. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry." Right then, a set of chopsticks and bowl were placed neatly in front of me, with many peeled shrimp in the bowl. I looked up at him, only to see him glance at me, then at the bowl in front of me with obvious hints. "Oh, I understand this." I immediately picked up the chopsticks, took a shrimp and brought it to his mouth, saying, "Sir, please eat." I don't know why, but his expression suddenly paused for a moment. He slowly opened his mouth. "Feed me." Very quickly, he peeled another one and put it in my bowl. I also picked it up and brought it to his mouth. He peeled, then I fed. He kept peeling, I kept feeding. Throughout this process, he kept staring at me intently, his lips curving upward more and more. His smile becoming increasingly obvious. Indeed, he was very pleased when I served him food. By the 8th shrimp, the 9th one he had just peeled but was slow to put in my bowl. He held it in his hand, smiled, and looked at me saying, "This king has discovered you're truly talented." Why is he complimenting me? I carefully said, "Sir, you flatter me, but I'm already a ghost. At most I'm just a ghost talent." This time he laughed out loud, bringing the shrimp in his hand to my mouth to eat. I quickly waved my hands. "Oh no, I don't dare. He laughed, looking at me teasingly. "Then tell me, how many of my meals have you eaten these past few days?" Hearing this, I immediately replied sincerely, I'll pay you back in full." "What's the point of money?" He insisted on bringing the shrimp closer to my mouth. I didn't dare not eat it. I had thought that swallowing it would end the matter, but unexpectedly, after just one bite, the fresh meat was absolutely delicious. So delicious, incredibly delicious. If not money, then what? Then how would you like me to repay you? Oh no. It should be repay the ghost. The Yama King looked at me and continued, "You can repay this king with your body?" I was stunned, looking confused. "Repay with my body, sir? What do you mean? You really are a stupid female ghost." Suddenly an unfamiliar voice came from behind. "Who's there?" I was startled and turned around, but no one was there, only the familiar black cat lying leisurely on the windowsill. That cat. It opened its mouth to talk to me. Of course it's the cowardly cat you once mocked. The cat can talk. I stared in shock with wide eyes. The black cat jumped down and instantly transformed into Blake's shadow. When I had just died, I had also met these 2 black and white impermanences. I was stunned. That black cat was actually Blake's shadow. Blake looked at me with a smile. Miss, what our king means is to take you to repay him, for him to eat. Eat my flesh. I was so scared my teeth chattered, looking at them both in disbelief. Eating ghosts is illegal. Ghost devouring ghost. Ghosts eating human flesh. I've heard of these before. The Yama King glared at Blake's shadow and waved his hand. The mighty Blake's shadow immediately disappeared without a trace. This is the power of the Yama King. Is he showing off his authority to me? Or is he threatening me? Sir Yama King, please don't eat my flesh. Wah. I was so scared my hands and feet went limp, crying until my tears and snot were flowing. This little woman is just a wrongfully dead ghost, not delicious at all. If you eat my flesh, it will definitely taste salty and a bit stinky too. Not delicious. But last night when you were naked, lying in this king's arms, I could smell a faint fragrance. No, not fragrant at all. I shook my head vigorously. Actually, not eating your flesh is also acceptable. I don't know when he had crouched down in front of me, lifting my chin with his hand, smiling as he continued. Then you can stay with this king just like these past few days. I swallowed and asked, like the past few days. He nodded, yes, exactly like that. Hearing this, I felt a bit troubled, hesitating before using all my strength to ask, then, can I not be naked anymore? His lips curved upward. If you like, you can continue being naked. I don't mind. I don't know what to do now. His finger kept gently stroking my chin, then his gaze sharpened as he warned me. Remember, don't even think about running away. Otherwise, such a cute, fragrant, and sweet little ghost would make a very delicious meal. I blinked my tearful eyes and nodded solemnly. Won't run, definitely won't run. My brain would have to be filled with water to not run away, sir. The next day, after the Yama King left the house, as soon as night fell, I had already packed my luggage and run away. I planned to quit work and temporarily hide for a while. Even starving would be better than being eaten. I knew Summer was very worried about me, so I carried my luggage to find Summer first. Serena, thank God you're okay. That's wonderful. Summer said that when she saw I didn't run after her, she had turned back to look for me, only to discover that the Yama King's villa door couldn't be entered at all. Then she asked about what happened last night. So I told her the whole story, along with my plan to run away temporarily to preserve my life. Suddenly a faint white streak appeared on my neck, somewhat warm and stinging. Summer asked, Serena, what is this? I shook my head, I don't know. Suddenly I remembered something. Last night, that evil Yama King who wanted to eat my flesh pulled me into his arms and bit my neck once. It really hurt. Serena, what's wrong with you? Why is your face so red? Hearing this, I touched my face and quickly asked, my face is red. Summer nodded. I leaned closer and told her about being bitten by that Yama King. Summer looked at me with a complex expression. Serena, this is the Yama King's seal. You can't escape. What? I froze. Can't escape, what does that mean? So I'm definitely going to die. Oh no, not die, be eaten. Then what should I do? If I can't escape, I'll be eaten up. Ha ha, the Yama King is just scaring you. Summer laughed out loud. If I'm not mistaken, it's the opposite. He might like you.
Like me?
I was so scared I shook my head frantically. Stop joking. He said cute little ghosts like me can be considered as food. You fool. Summer laughed and patted my head lightly. Anyway, you can't escape. You might as well go home obediently. With the Yama King's seal on you, no matter where you hide, he'll know. If you anger him, then... I looked at Summer. Why is this little one laughing so slyly? Summer, how can you be so sure he won't eat me? I'm still very worried. I heard ghosts can eat ghosts and even eat human flesh. Those are only the most evil demons. The underworld has regulations that these evil demons will be forever suppressed under the 18 levels of hell, never to be reincarnated. The 19 Yama King palaces are actually ancient ghost kings. They're the incarnations of gods. That evil Yama King deceived me again. That bastard. In the end, I still didn't dare run away. But I also didn't want to rush straight home to that evil Yama King's house, right after work like usual. I wandered the streets, looking at the deserted roads at 5 a.m. and the slowly rotating Ferris wheel at midnight. Then I passed through a long street full of lively bars. A group of about 7-8 men and women, drunk and swaying, walked past me arm in arm. I saw the girl walking at the back had a red butterfly-shaped hair clip on her head, exactly like mine. Suddenly my head hurt intensely. Many chaotic images appeared in my mind, me struggling violently under a man's body. and myself lying in a pool of blood. The pain gradually disappeared, and those memory fragments were cut off too. I looked up at the group that had reached the roadside. That hair clip, the problem must have occurred with the girl who had that hair clip. I dragged my luggage and chased after them. The closer I got, the faster my heart beat. I was feeling afraid, but I didn't understand what I was afraid of. When I was about to approach them, I felt increasingly panicked inside. My body unconsciously began trembling non-stop. Suddenly I turned and ran away quickly. It seemed like someone in my head was urging me on. Run, run quickly, run to the safest place to hide. So I returned to the Llama King's house again. When I came to my senses, I was already standing right in front of the villa's gate. I dragged my luggage and hid outside the door, carefully looking around. A rich aroma wafted from inside the house, sweet and sour, irresistibly tempting. That aroma made my hungry stomach growl, my belly drumming and waving flags in hunger. Oh God, I'm so hungry. If you don't come in, the sweet and sour pork ribs and beef stew with tomatoes will get cold. The Llama King's voice rang out. From the tone, it doesn't sound like he's angry. I hesitated for a moment, still dragging my luggage into the house. He was carrying a plate of steamed fish and turned to go into the kitchen, glancing at me and saying, "Go wash your hands and eat." He didn't even bother looking at the luggage I had dragged along. I put everything down and went to wash my hands. Salt and pepper shrimp, beef stew with tomatoes, sweet and sour pork ribs, steamed fish, stir-fried vegetables with garlic, winter melon soup. The Llama King listed each dish he had made today. I looked at him and, as he expected, took out all the money from my pocket. This is the living expenses. I gently and carefully took the money and put it in his hand. He took the money but just looked at me without saying anything. I quickly asked, "Is this not enough?" He still said nothing, looking at the rich array of delicious dishes on the dining table. Indeed, this measly 3-coin salary isn't nearly enough. I felt a bit heartbroken, but reluctantly took out my last few coins and put them all in his hand, saying, "Sir, this is all I have. This is my entire month's salary. This is living expenses." The Llama King frowned and asked, "What about the rent?" Hearing this, I stared wide-eyed. I have to pay rent too. I thought about moving out to satisfy him. But I only thought about it without daring to say it. If he was willing to let me go, he wouldn't have stopped me yesterday, much less bitten me to leave a seal. I looked at the dining table in front of me, then at him. "So after eating, can I wash the dishes? And also sweep the floor?" After I finished speaking, I looked at him with an expectant expression, waiting for me to continue. So I opened my mouth and said everything at once. "Sir, I don't know how to cook. Besides cooking, I can do all the other housework." "Oh, then that's temporarily acceptable." He showed a satisfied smile, then took my hard-earned money and counted it bill by bill. Being a Llama King but still so stingy. But this meal I ate was quite worth it. It really was delicious. I started washing dishes, cleaning the house, working like an ox or horse. Being a servant for that damn Llama King. When night came and I had finished bathing, I saw the Llama King lying on the bed. Deep down I knew he wouldn't eat ghosts, he was just scaring me. So I was much bolder than yesterday. I moved closer to him and asked, "Sir, can I move to the room next door?" He looked up at me. "Why?" I smiled like a puppy trying to please its master. "I'm afraid of disturbing your sleep." "Not disturbing." Then he pulled back the blanket, patted the spot next to him. "Come up here and watch a movie with me." "Oh no, I still feel like I would disturb your sleep. So let me go to the next room." Before I could finish speaking, I was pulled up onto the bed by an invisible force, landing directly in the Llama King's lap. He reached out and gently placed me in the spot where I usually sat. With his identity exposed, he no longer had to hide anything. Thanks to his supernatural powers, the drawer opened automatically. The tablet and stand were automatically placed in front of us, and the movie was already selected. I looked up at him, thinking about struggling to see if I could escape, and said, after watching the movie, "Can I go to the next room? Didn't you once say it's a pity that we're from different worlds, human and ghost, otherwise you would definitely take responsibility for me. Now this king will fulfill your wish. The domineering Llama King CEO wants to be my boyfriend. He told me I don't need to envy my friend Summer. Following him, I could not only return to the underworld to live, but also rule there. I'm not interested in ruling. Why make things so difficult?" Of course I refused immediately, And I hadn't even exposed his lie about eating my flesh yet. This king truly doesn't like eating ghosts. But you teased this king and held me to sleep night after night. This charge is enough for you to be thrown into boiling oil until your soul scatters. Then he lazily leaned back against the bed and smiled at me. This king won't force you, but you only have two choices. One is love, two is become cooking oil. Under the Yama King's threats and coercion, I was so agitated I wanted to cry. A sweet love has finally arrived. Oh no. It's finally my turn too. When I nodded in agreement, the Yama King took away my butterfly hair clip, saying it would serve as my love token for him. He touched my face and said with gentle concern, "Being this king's girlfriend means you don't need to do housework. From now on, leave all that housework to me. Leave it all to you." I had unconsciously landed a domineering boyfriend who spoils his girlfriend to the skies. And then on the second day, I understood that he was the Yama King. Compared to ordinary ghosts, there really was a world of difference. He only needed to use a little magic power and the house would clean itself automatically. Dishes would wash themselves, and the bathroom would start making scrubbing sounds. The longest journey I had ever taken was all orchestrated by this guy. He even said that as long as I actively kissed him once, he'd give me 10,000. One kiss for 10,000 sounds like a lot, right? Dream on. Because the human world had created underworld currency with the largest denomination being 1 billion, causing inflation in the underworld economy. 1 billion now is equivalent to 100 yuan in the human world, while my monthly salary is 1.5 billion, to reclaim the money I had sold my soul to capitalism for. From the very beginning I was cautious and careful, but once I grasped the opportunity, I pressed him down and kissed him non-stop. Because even if I didn't kiss him, I'd still get kissed back anyway. Every day I kissed him 12 or 13 times, earning back 1 billion. How have you and the Yama King been living together these past few days? Summer nudged my shoulder lightly with a knowing expression. I felt a bit shy replying, same as before, why? This little one still doesn't know how to be embarrassed, continuing to ask, does he like you? I don't know anymore. Then I whispered in Summer's ear, but he told me to be his girlfriend. Oh my God, really? Summer couldn't help but gasp in shock. Director Sarah Thompson walked over pointing at us. You two are slacking off here again. Docking pay 1 billion each. Oh no, Director Thompson. Summer ran over to put her arm around the director, smiling sweetly. We were discussing Serena's life-changing event. What life-changing event? Director Thompson looked at me. I quickly shook my head denying, nothing. But Summer said, there is, she has a boyfriend now. Director Thompson looked confused. What's a boyfriend? Summer means a male partner. Chicho, really? Director Thompson immediately smiled at me. This is good news, good news. Then today I'll only dock Summer's pay. Hey! Summer immediately stiffened hearing this. Huh, what the heck? Director Thompson is docking 2 billion from Summer to celebrate Serena getting out of singlehood. Summer, this is like killing me to celebrate with Serena. Docking my pay is like taking this ghost's life. I stood beside her laughing so hard I couldn't close my mouth. At 8 p.m. in the human world, which is when we start work, not long after starting our shift, there was suddenly a commotion outside. I had just come out of the restroom when my colleague Lily Chen urgently pulled me away. Serena, hurry up. We're only missing you. Missing me for what? What's happening? A big shot has arrived, and it's S-class. Little ghosts like us must all be present for the ceremony. In the bank's main hall, all the little ghosts were kneeling on the ground. Some were bank employees, the rest were customers who came to withdraw money, but as long as they were ghosts, they all had to kneel down. Lily Chen pulled me to kneel at the back corner of the last row. Hearing it was a big shot, I was also a bit scared. But suddenly I remembered, in our area, the S-class boss is my boyfriend, right? I looked up intending to see if it was him when Lily Chen quickly pressed my head down, whispering, "Don't you want to live? Your Majesty, what brings you here? Is there something you need to instruct us lowly ones?" This voice belonged to our bank president Lucas Gray. Looking for someone. The man's voice was extremely pleasant. Serena Wells, come out here? In this place? Only my name has the word Wells in it. And then everyone turned to look at me in unison, all with wide eyes and shocked faces. They probably couldn't imagine that the youngest little ghost, who earned the least money and was the poorest, actually knew the big boss. Hehehe, I made a few awkward laughing sounds then stood up. The Yama King faced my direction and waved gently. Come here. I walked over and asked quietly, why did you come here? He took my hand and said, taking you away from here. So he directly used magic to take me away. Before leaving, I heard Director Thompson's shocked voice calling out, my God, so Serena's boyfriend is our Yama King. The Yama King brought me to a small forest, where 2 police cars were parked. Floodlights illuminated a section of the woods, and a police officer was leading a handcuffed young man down from the car. The upper body was buried right here. He pointed to where he was standing. I felt like I'd seen him somewhere before. Suddenly I remembered. Oh, I remember now. A few days ago I passed by a bar and saw a group of men and women. He was one of them, and the girl he was holding had a hair clip very similar to mine. Then the police officers got to work, beginning to excavate the soil. Captain Stern, we found it. What was dug up was a piece of white skull from the head portion. The body of Sophia Zhang has finally been found complete. Quickly notify the victim's family. Sophia. Why does this name sound so familiar? Sophia, my head suddenly hurt terribly. The Yama King took out my butterfly hair clip, but there was no longer any blood on it. He clipped it in my hair. You are Sophia. He wrapped his arms around me. I am Sophia. That corpse was me. In that moment, the memories I had lost seemed to be unlocked. Everything came flooding back into my mind. I am Sophia, a first-year college student. That day I was preparing to go with Marcus Chang, who was also the son of my mother's best friend, to school together. He told me to come to his house to wait for him. I had been to his house several times with my mother, so I was quite familiar with it. Then that day, only he was home. He began harboring dark intentions toward me. During the struggle, I fell and hit my head hard against the wall, blood gushing out as I lost consciousness. He probably thought I was dead, so he dismembered my body and disposed of it. No wonder the hair clip and dress were stained with so much fresh blood. This terrifying murderer had an extremely twisted psychology. He took my hair clip, cleaned it, and gave it to his girlfriend, the girl I saw that night when I was wandering the bar district. That hair clip really was mine. The Yama King brought me home once. I saw my family crying in pain, only able to stand there and weep, unable to comfort them in any way. A whole lifetime, during the most beautiful time of youth, I encountered this fatal disaster. So many things I hadn't yet experienced. I hadn't yet repaid my parents for their kindness. The murderer will face strict legal punishment, but my family and I are forever separated by life and death. The Yama King gently pulled me into his embrace, softly stroking my head. Don't cry, your life is over now, let it go. I had recovered my identity. Returning to the underworld. My family burned me a huge amount of wealth along with villas and luxury cars. And so I transformed from a poor working ghost into a little rich lady in the underworld. I was scheduled to reincarnate on May 1st of the following year. There was still a whole year left to enjoy myself. Ghosts with status in the underworld, except during the Mid-Autumn Festival, are not allowed to freely return to the human world. My ghost friend Summer had to wait until her marriage certificate was transferred to the underworld, so she had to wait until the end of the year to complete the transfer procedures. She had no way to stay by my side. But I spent $5 billion to buy Summer a phone and had it express, delivered to the human world. When we had free time we would call each other to chat. One day Summer said, I miss my adorable little baby so much. Tell that old Yama King of yours to bring you to the human world to live. After returning to the underworld, I maintained my romantic relationship with the Yama King. His body is delicious, he's handsome, and that aspect is also. I felt this romance could continue until I reincarnated without any problems. It's just that recently he hasn't returned to the human world, making me forget about this matter. Actually, my old man's name is Adrian King. I heard that's the original soul of an ancient Kulin, who later ruled the underworld and became one of the 19 palace ghost kings. At night I waited for him to get off work, then pretended to sweet-talk him. Hey, why haven't I seen you return to the human world lately? He lifted my chin, wrapped his arm around my waist, and placed me on his lap. Because you can't freely return to the human world. Why not? I smiled sweetly and continued, what if I became your disciple? You could bring your disciple on patrol in the human world. Wouldn't that also be official business? He shook his head. If that method worked, I would have taken you long ago. Oh? I thought to myself, so this old man's power isn't that impressive after all. But I have a way that can allow you to freely travel between both worlds from now on. Hearing this, I immediately asked excitedly, "Why didn't you say so earlier?" "What method?" He caressed my soft waist, his gaze suggestive as he said, "Become the Yama King's wife, and you can freely go anywhere." I was speechless, so I quickly climbed down from his lap. "Do you think I'm stupid? Being the Yama King's wife would mean I couldn't reincarnate, right?" But I still wanted to experience a complete human life. I wanted to live until old age, so I made an agreement with Adrian King, "Let me reincarnate as a human once. When I return to the underworld, I will definitely become your ghost bride." He smiled and kissed me, agreeing. "All right, I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes." Even when we lose our memories or forget who we are, our true identity will eventually find its way back to us when the time is right. Serena ultimately discovered the truth about her tragic death and recovered her lost memories, showing that our authentic selves cannot be permanently erased. True love means being willing to wait and respect the desires of the person you care about. Adrian King agreed to let Serena reincarnate as a human before returning to be his ghost bride, demonstrating that genuine affection supports the other person's dreams rather than being selfish. The story also reminds us how precious life is and how we should value the opportunities we have, as even as a ghost, Serena still yearned to experience a complete human existence. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. I truly appreciate your comments, feedback, and thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. See you again in the next story.